All right, welcome back. We are with Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku on the government's drought response plan. I'd like us to just get some more questions, comments from our viewers on this issue. Let's see what we begin with. Let's start with Sitati George, asking again why it keeps happening. We were here in 2011, we were here in 2022, now it's 2026. He says the science was clear, the warnings were given, the suffering was predictable. At what point does inaction become accountability?
Again, Yvonne, I would say that as a government, we acted from the month of July when we got a sign that there's going to be escalation of drought. The government mobilized resources, not from development partners, but government resources. But also we are asking if we get support from development partners as a government is very much welcome. And we have scaled up humanitarian assistance as a government through the Ministry of Special Program so that we can ensure we are protecting livelihoods of the people who are affected in these 23 counties.
So your response was timely and efficient, in your view? Is that what you're saying tonight?
And Yvonne, we are strengthening long-term resilience systems.
Yeah, but answer this. Do you believe the response thus far has been timely and effective?
Yes. Okay.
So yes. The people who are suffering
so far, Yvonne, if government did not act timely, by now we'll be talking about loss of lives. So far, we don't have reported cases of Kenyans losing their life because of hunger, because of lack of food.
So far so good with government response?
So far, we can say we have done a good job.
Okay. And Yvonne, also you say, because I just want us to establish, though, what the need is. Allow me to ask this question, Waziri. So you say the response so far has been good, could have been worse. You said the food is enough. It's because we just want to understand what the shortfall is, if at all, and if you will be needing any more, say, from development partners and others. But you say the response is efficient and timely. You say the food that you've supplied is sufficient for the people?
If Yvonne, I take you tonight, to the government food reserve, strategic food reserve at NCBP, there is enough food for anybody who is facing hunger in Kenya. We are distributing this food on a day-to-day basis as government. We want to ensure that county disaster management committees are doing their job. And how do we ensure county disaster management committees are doing their job? That they are able to tell government where there is a household without food, and that food is available in DCC's headquarters, government facilities headquarters, across all the counties which are affected by hunger. So the problem may be getting that food to 300 kilometers to where that household is. And that's why I'm saying tomorrow, and I am doing this on a weekly basis, that I will be in Elders to ensure someone who is 300 kilometers is getting the humanitarian assistance.
So it's a logistics challenge that you're facing?
There is.
I'm just trying to understand what challenges you feel the government is facing and could solve to mitigate this crisis.
There is a logistic challenge, and that's why we are saying last week we decided to democratize the distribution process to ensure we are involving as many people, many stakeholders as possible across all the counties. The county government, the members of parliament, the MCAs, the county disaster management committee, because we are under very firm instruction from the president that no Kenyan who should die because of lack of food.
Okay.
So far, there is no reported case of a Kenyan who has died in the counties affected because of lack of food.
Okay.
And we are going to maintain that momentum to ensure that this government is committed to saving lives, and resources, enough resources,
so
have
for
been
you,
provided, Yvonne, to ensure
so,
there is enough.
So for you, success is that no one has died yet?
Don't put words in my mouth.
That's why I'm asking.
That's
So
not what I have said.
Clarification.
That's not what I have said.
How would you term success?
That's not what I have said. What I'm trying to say is that as a government, we have ensured from the month of July, we have data from National Drought Management Authority. We have been having monthly meetings. We have been going around the country. I was in North Hall. I've been in Moyare. I've been Erwak. I've been in Banissa the other day to ensure and to make follow-ups and to give instruction to the county commissioners and DDCs that government of Kenya is committed in distribution of food and ensuring there's no Kenyan who is going to die for lack of food.
Okay, let's take
and that we have
questions.
Enough food in our strategic reserve. That food should not stay there when someone is dying in Turkana or other corner.
Let's take some more questions, comments. Maybe we can take a few at a time. This is from Larry Owino Carlos. Geoffrey Ruku is in a government that has been giving handouts to Kenyans so that they can attend political meetings. Some instances, especially in Mount Kenya region, residents have been receiving beans and rice. Do they consider the regions having drought and famine? Let's take a few together just so that we can incorporate as much of our viewers' questions. Big Samuel says, with an estimated 3.3 to 3.6 million people now facing acute food insecurity across 23 counties, what is the specific plan to prevent this number from escalating before the next harvest? We will talk about that one with the next harvest. And then John Musang says, ask the CS why can't they drill water to this affected counties, because the government has all the resources and equipment to help the people. I think we can start by talking about what happens to ensure that this number doesn't increase from 3.3 million to...
Yvonne, the projections which we have from Meteorological Department, this number is going to increase. Because there's no rain which is coming between now and almost end of March in Turkana, in Mandera, in Wajir, in all these places. And because I have said drought is not just about lack of food. It is lack of water, it's lack of food, it's food prices going up, it's nutrition of household getting affected, is the cost of maintaining our children in school going up. So it's a whole complex issue. We are likely to see the numbers going up from 3.3, probably by end of this month or mid-March. We are likely to get a much higher number. Because I have said in February, beginning of mid-December, we are talking about 2.1 million Kenyans. And within one month and a half, more than 1 million Kenyans have increased in that figure.
So how will you prevent this from not going up?
Is to scale up the interventions which we have put in place through the Ministry of Livestock, through the Minister of Special Program, through the Minister of Water, Defense coming to help us, Minister of Defense in terms of water tracking, Minister of Water coming in so that it can help us also in water tracking and desilting of other dams and ensuring the boreholes are rehabilitated. Also the Minister of Health coming into place to ensure the malnutrition which may be affecting the young and the elderly is properly tackled. So it's a whole government approach which we have employed to ensure that this is not going to...
When you say scaling up, could that mean an increase in the amount of resources? And now that you say the Met Department has given its projections, you say 6 billion already. So scaling up, what would that look like in terms of resources?
Yes, it did. more resources will be committed. Government will not spare any resources.
How much?
President William Ruto is committed to ensure no resources will going to be spared.
Okay, so how much?
I can't be able to say how much at the moment, Yvonne, because it's a multi-sectoral approach where the Ministry of Livestock comes with a figure of amount which is required. The Minister of Water comes with a figure of amount which is required. But have those...
allow me to ask this. No, because I'd like us to get some specifics, please, Waziri. 6 billion so far. You say you already have projections from the Met Department that the number of those who will be in need of some support could go up before, the next rain season kicks in. So those are projections, right? So they've given you that. What could that number look like before the rains? And therefore, if you say it could go up another million, have you then done some estimates to say that if we go up by 1 million, we will need X number of amounts? And as you say, it's multi-sectoral, but that is all coordinated by special programs, isn't it?
It's coordinated by special programs. Let me give you, let me put it in perspective. So far from the month of July to February 2026, the amount of money which has been spent in terms of buying this food is 5.478 billion Kenya shilling, plus the cost of distribution of this food. And I've said, if you go to our warehouse today, there is enough food probably worthy, close to this amount of
Waziri, you've already told us about how much. I'd just like us to move the conversation forward in terms of what you see in the future.
I'm saying probably.
So how much?
Probably, it is not going to be... Already we have food in our stores. That is money which has been spent for that food to be in our stores. So we may not even commit more money.
No.
Because we have food in our stores, which we have not distributed.
My question to you is, you said to mitigate the numbers going up, you will have to scale up your efforts, right?
No.
My simple question is, how much do you project to scale up? The food you said is there, you will be scaling up what? The logistics, I presume, right?
Yes, the logistics.
So have you done some projections in terms of how much you would need to spend to scale it up to prevent those numbers from going beyond 3.3 million? That's all I'm asking. And
that's why I've told you, Yvonne, that we have ensured we have assets which are going to be deployed from the military, from NYS, from regional water bodies. The water boosters are going to be deployed. All these assets are mobilized by government. And if, for instance, it is a regional water body, I don't know, in Narok, it was a Niro, I don't know, it has water boosters. It will use their resources in terms of distribution of water in Narok, in the most affected areas within Narok.
So you don't have a figure. Is that what you're saying?
This has to. I can't give Kenyans a wrong figure. Government should be sure on the figure. When you're talking about money being deployed from government, you should be able to tell Kenyans exactly. I don't want to give...
And that's what I'm asking. So you don't have that figure exactly of how much is needed, or even an estimate?
What we have committed...
To scale up?
What we have committed so far from December and this month, we have already committed 6 billion. This week on Tuesday, Cabinet approved 4.1 billion Kenya shilling. Those are the figures which I can talk about.
Okay, all right. Let's leave that one there for now. Let's take our final comments for the evening. Lilash Solomon says, ask the CS if he's aware some parts of Narok County have been hit by drought. And
true.
Then, let's take
I have been Narok West. It is true.
Narok West,
yeah.
Elias Njogu, last year the government was bragging how the fertilizer program was successful and we have, quote, bumper harvest. So you'd imagine the bumper harvest of 3 years, this drought will be a small issue since our silos are full. It doesn't add up. Eve Madai, this is, via text message. CS, past food aid sent to counties in crisis has raised serious food safety concerns due to contamination. How will the government guarantee that hungry Kenyans are not fed fed unsafe food again. This is an important one. So the issue of the safety of the food, we'll come to that. Martin from Beira North says, ask the CS whether his ministry has any initiatives along with the Ministries of Agriculture and Livestock for drought-tolerant programs to mitigate future drought crises. Also commend his efforts in the ministry. Mukhtar Khalif from Ajir says, since you said 3.3 million are affected by drought, does NDMA have the power to recommend to the president to declare this a state of national emergency? And then Isaac Ocheng says, ask the CS what measures have been put towards research and learning to mitigate drought crisis in the country. We've seen how other desert countries are able to use arid land to sustain their own agriculture, like Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. So research, if you can just answer some of those real quick. You talked about Narok East. You say you're aware of that situation. Let's speak about the quality and the safety of the food that's being distributed and how you ensure.
We have the expert at National Cereals and Produce Board, where the National Strategic Food Reserve is located to ensure whatever food is supplied is of good quality, there is not poisonous, the levels of aflatoxin are mentioned before receiving the supplies. So Kenya should be assured that we have experts who check on the safety of the food. Yes.
The issue of research and working with Agriculture Ministry and others to, put in place some thinking for long term.
Yes, a lot of work in terms of research has been done. That's why Garana Kuraru project has been implemented by government, and we are now talking about scaling up such kind of project across the Republic of Kenya.
How much of Galana Kulalu have we harvested in the last year, say? And how much of that is being channeled towards this?
I don't have the figures as far as how much has been harvested, but I know it has been a successful project for last season in terms of harvest. I could see the Minister of Agriculture and Minister of Irrigation visiting Garana Kuraru, not only the Minister but also the President, and the season was very, very successful. We need to scale up such kind of project across the Republic of Kenya, but we need resources, and that's why we have come up with
but the Galana Kulalu, hang on, the Galana Kulalu is, we've seen that change hands with several investors, Israelis and others, and people who've come and gone. So you would understand Kenyan skepticism with certain projects like this.
Yes.
Now you say it's successful, but you don't know by how much.
In terms of the season, just harvest concluded. I don't know how much bags of maize were harvested, but I know it was a very good harvest in that case. So we are going to transition from rain-fed agriculture or rain-fed farming, because the problem is not water. Kenya has enough water. The problem is utilization of that water. How are we utilizing our water resources? We need money. We need to put in place projects which can ensure our water resources are utilized for proper productivity.
Okay.
And that's the plan which we have put in place. That's a plan which President William Ruto on 12th of December last year, he outlined clearly what, moving forward from this year, what the government is going to do in terms of ensuring we are not going to depend on rain-fed farming.
Okay.
Moving forward.
All right. We want to thank you, Waziri, for coming and being with us. And we hope to see this number not rise. And we look forward to seeing the efforts of your ministry and indeed the government of Kenya in mitigating the effects of this to Kenyans. 3.3 million are far too many to be facing a crisis of hunger and drought in the country. Waziri, thank you very much for making time for us on the program tonight. I'll give you about a minute to just drop your final thoughts as we leave.
Thank you, Fawn. I would say that 23 counties in the Republic of Kenya facing drought. The government of Kenya acted early enough and mobilized enough resources, enough financing, and the government is continuing to mobilize financing. And we have scaled up humanitarian assistance moving forward to ensure that all Kenyans are protected, and more so to protect the livelihood in these 23 counties. And we are going to ensure that as a government we will strengthen long-term resilience systems, and we are giving a very well-coordinated national response, structured, and in that matter well-financed, to ensure it is well operated, or it is operational. We are focused and we remain very clear to save lives, protect livelihood, and also build resilience as far as drought and livelihood of the people of Kenya is concerned.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Waziri, for your time tonight. That's it for the program tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.